All right, I just unmuted you.
All right, am I in this?
Yeah,
What
so
can
then,
they see? Can they see me?
yeah, so they can see this, and then they should also be able to see. Let me see.
Like, are they looking through this?
Yeah, this is your camera.
Okay.
We could, yeah, we can turn it around.
Cool. Are we good? Download, I assume. Are we good?
I think we're good.
Can you guys hear me? Are they muted?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. All right. Sweet. I'm gonna turn off my sweet jams.
I like your wall, Greg.
Thank you.
You guys. All right. Cool. Yeah. So thanks for joining us today. I'm gonna walk you guys through. I'm just gonna walk you through exactly how I prepare each week for my open house. From finding my open houses, setting up for my open houses, actually running the open house, what I do when nobody comes to my open house, and then talk about how you get the information that you need to follow up to make sure that you have enough of a relationship and enough value that you can deliver to your clients to have them work with you. Tyler.
My bad, sorry.
I'll start off with
Yeah, Tyler.
PowerPoint presentation now.
Sorry, I'm off. I'm jumping off. My bad.
You guys see it? It's my PowerPoint. Okay. All right, I think we're ready.
I get it.
All right, so reasons I love open houses is because, one, I'm a silly bitch, and I think I do a lot better at open houses, and I can connect with people a lot more rather than like Boomtown leads, which to me feels a lot like a blind date. Like I have to convince them on the phone that I'm great, whereas open house, I get a little bit more time to build rapport with people, and I get to flex a little bit with working hard and delivering some value there. I also really like open houses because I think it's really close to the money, where Boomtown, a lot of these people are 6 months, 12 months out. Open houses, you get a lot of people that hate real estate agents and they hate talking to us until they're ready to buy. So they've been looking on Zillow, they've been looking on Realtor, and now they want to go check out some homes, and they're coming to open houses, and I'm going to be connecting with them. Cool. What other things I like about open houses? Marketing. You get to market the crap out of them, and especially if you're working a farm, you get to. People think that all these open houses are my listings. They're totally not, but I get to get leads off of them. I get to brand myself as the local agent, and if you're working a specific area, they continually see my signs out there every weekend, and it just looks like I'm crushing it in the neighborhood. Work. So cool. Yeah, so let's get into it. So identifying the right property. Go to the next screen. So this is all the things you're doing before. You're going to identify the right property, you're going to market the open house, and you're going to set up and get yourself ready. When I'm looking for my open houses, I always start with my geographical farm, or I'm thinking of my ideal buyer client. So if you don't know who your ideal buyer client is, you should figure out what that person wants and then show up at those houses. So for me, it's like 28 to 35-year-old young professional couple. They might not have a kid, or they're about to have a kid, and they're looking to move out of like Capitol Hill, the city area, and get a house with a yard for their dog or whatever. And the reason that I like that is because in the neighborhood that I'm in, I also think that these guys are going to probably be selling in 4 to 5 years when they do have that kid, and they want a little bit more room because the houses aren't that big and the schools aren't that great in my neighborhood. And so that's why I'm targeting these types of people. And they also like homes that aren't pieces of crap. So I'm looking for homes that are not suitable for investors, things that are already remodeled, already flipped, or in good enough condition that it's not like they have to repair a whole a bathroom, things like that, but they can add their own, color on the wall and things like that. Just like light cosmetic work. That's what my people are looking for. Some agents talk about like 8% turnover in a particular area, year-over-year turnover. I think there's probably some value in doing that, but I also think that if you're good enough and you work your ass off enough in an area, it shouldn't really matter. You're going to be able to get enough business because so many agents aren't good at their job that it hasn't been that hard for me to stand out in my neighborhood already just by working a little bit harder. No dominant agent, though. I think that is depending on the area that you are working. If you're in focusing on a market of like 200 homes and there's already an agent with 25% market share, you're gonna have to work longer and a lot harder to get into that area. Whereas like my area, I think that the top guy has been there forever and he has like 7 or 8% market share. So I'm fine to go in there, and there's no number 2 really in that neighborhood. So it's gonna have to be me. I love working in the neighborhood that I live in too, just because I hate putting out my open house signs. I hate it with a passion. Every time I do it, I'm cursing, especially right now when the ground is frozen. It's the worst thing. I can't wait to leverage that in the future and have somebody do it for me. But I love just like having easy travel time, because I'll explain a little bit earlier with my setup. I get up early, set my signs up early, hours before my open house, and that way I can go back home easily and traffic isn't that bad and everything like that. So yeah, really in thinking about your open house, that's like my little one. When you're thinking about your open house, like think of it as like your market center. So instead of like sitting in the office or sitting at your house, why don't you just go post up and sit at an open house where customers might be coming to you and do the same thing that you would have been doing at home. Just do your work, make your calls. That the worst thing that's going to happen is nobody shows up and you get a ton of work done, and you're not distracted by your kids or your dog and everything like that. The best thing that's going to happen is, a client that's hot and ready is going to come in and you're going to make that connection. So another reason why I love open houses. When you're when you're looking at your area, if you do have options, so I always like start with okay, if I could pick one open house this weekend, it's going to be this one. I call that agent first and I ask her. And really when I'm picking these, I look at the interiors, but I also look at the cross streets of where I want to be, where I think I can funnel the most people in through. Most of my people aren't going to be coming from my online ads or anything like that. Most of them are going to be driving around the neighborhood, looking at other open houses, and I'm just going to funnel them through to mine. Cool? The other thing too is I like to piggyback on new construction, because new construction, they do a ton of marketing and they have a ton of signs to drive people to theirs. And so as soon as you're exiting a new construction area, put your open house signs directing them to yours. And a lot of people like the idea of new construction until they get in there and then they're like, let's go check out something a little bit more character, and then you get the opportunity to show them the contrast and build value on why they don't want a brand new home. Here's the hierarchy of what I would like. If I could find a for sale by owner in my neighborhood, there aren't a ton of people selling their homes on their own. I guess it's probably a good thing, but if I could target a for sale by owner, I would rather have them. Any idea why I'd rather go with for sale by owner first? What's that? Yeah, I mean, I think with like 10% of for sale by owners selling their own. So if I go in there, do a kick-ass job, not trying to list their home, and just give them a kick-ass experience, in the end, ultimately, if they can't, I mean, who are they going to call? It's going to be
Ghostbusters?
no, it's going to be me.
Oh.
You guys follow the plot. So yeah, if I could, and the way I market to those guys is my opening script is just really like I basically been doing this on the phone. Like, hey, this is Sean Murphy with Keller Williams. I know you're getting a ton of calls from agents calling you to list your house. I'm not one of them. At no point am I going to ask you for commission. I'm not going to ask you to list your house. But instead, I want to run a win-win scenario by you and see if it makes sense for your situation so you can sell your home for top dollar and not pay an agent commission. And have a quick minute. Cool. And then I get in and I pitch my mega open house event to them. I tell them I do tons of signs for sale by owner. I'm going to go to a local, you can do like family fun center, or you can go to a pub, you know, depending on what type of ideal client you're looking for. But I'll go get like a $50 gift card. $50 gift card, I'm going to do a gift card raffle giveaway. It also helps people sign in. I'm going to do tons of signs. I'm going to do targeted Facebook ads. I'm going to you can market it on Zillow. You can do all these extra things just to hype them up and help bring them by additional traffic. All right, but then with for sale by owners, because everyone thinks that agents are out for something, I let them know exactly what I'm out for. Say the typical open house that I run, we get about 50 people, mega open house. Typical mega open house that I host, we get about 50 people through. So if one buyer comes through and they're unrepresented, they want to buy your house, they're yours, I hand them off to you, you write your offer, or you don't pay an agent commission, and you go do your thing. But I know statistically, about 70% of those buyers, this isn't going to be or 70% of them aren't going to be represented by an agent, and this might not be the right home for them. So I will follow up with them, I will build a relationship with them, and I will close a deal off of working with them. And that's why it's a win-win for me. And then you just ask for the appointment. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'd love to come by your house, we can talk game plan, and pick a date. Cool? They're either going to say, go kick rocks, or that's an awesome idea, and it's just a numbers game at that point. I had a lot of success with those last year, and I just haven't really bumped into a whole lot of for sale by owners. Expired listing, essentially the same thing. Another realtor's home, and that's typically what I will find. I go into the MLS and I'll look for homes that are empty first, because I'm not going to displace an owner, especially if something's relatively nice, maybe overpriced a little bit, and they just need to get some additional traffic by there. I do essentially the same script, but it's a lot shorter. It's just, hey, I see that you have this home sitting over here. I work and live in that area, and I'm looking to host an open house this weekend. I love to bring a lot of additional traffic by there. I do a lot of signs. I do targeted Facebook ads, and at the end, I'll give you an open house feedback report that you can deliver to your sellers, or deliver the message to your sellers. So if you're having price conversations, it might help you with that. And you get a lot of people that are open to that. So especially things that have been sitting. Agents, that's where I get the most of my open houses. And then I'll start looking outside my area if I can't find anything there. Josh Smith is the guy that, he's like my
Boyfriend?
daddy, I don't know. He's like the guy that I love and the guy that I follow down in Arizona. But he says the last open house he wants to hold is his own listing. He's like, I already got that business. Like, let somebody else host that open. Let them bring a buyer to mine. I'm gonna get one side. I think there's some value in that. I like that way of thinking. But especially if it's a listing that it's not gonna be if it's not gonna be drawing in your potential buyer anyways. Yeah, go let somebody else run that. There's plenty of people that want to do this. Cool. Any questions on identifying the property?
Well, yeah, so you had mentioned kind of cross streets and stuff. What would be like the top 5? You've already mentioned a couple, but what are like the top 5 things you're looking at when you're identifying a property, assuming it's not a FSBO or expired?
Yeah,
Assuming you're just looking on the MLS for another home,
yeah.
what is kind of like all the top things you're looking for in the house?
Like a residential area for sure, an area that has other homes that people are probably going to be driving through, looking at homes. Close to a shopping center is good on the weekends, getting people that are going shopping and coming back. Like I said, new constructions. If I'm going to host it on Friday, I try to maybe be close to a school where
Sure.
people are going to be picking up their kids,
Sure,
things like that.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you you talked about like intersection shopping? Do you try to make? Is there something to it only being a couple turns off a major street or something? Is that a thing that you'll look for, or you think if it hits the other criteria, that doesn't matter as much?
Yeah,
The signage.
so luckily, can you go back up? So luckily in Denver, most everything's a grid, and it's super
Sure.
easy that, like in Harvey Park, there's this street called Yale, and there's this Jewel and Evans. And so ideally, yeah, I'm looking up, okay, I'm gonna funnel them through here, I'm gonna funnel them through here. Real busy streets I found, like Sheridan and Federal, it's kind of hard, unless there's a really nice intersection with the stoplight where everyone's going to be stopped and see it. They're going by there so much, there's so much traffic around them that they're not looking at signs on the sidewalks. And so that's why I like these almost like secondary paths, like through the neighborhoods where you'll get people
Sure.
going like 30 miles an hour.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah. Can I answer your question?
It does. Yep,
Yeah.
that's good. I like the thought of like overpriced homes as well, because like I've heard statistics say people will walk into open houses usually a certain percentage over their price point. Like typically they're going to walk into an open house that's a little bit more than what they're actually going to spend. So it being overpriced probably doesn't matter as much
Yeah.
for just traffic walking in.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's not my listing.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I'll even tell them, I'm like, that's one of the things when I do when they come in, I set the stage that I'm not the listing agent. I'm the expert in the area. I live and I work in this area a lot. So feel free to give me any unbiased, like
that's
all your feedback.
That's
You hate it, you love it. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And then if they're like the price, I'm like, it might be a little bit overpriced. It's been sitting in the market. Like I just agree with them. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm not shitting on the other agent,
Yeah.
but I also like if they do like it, I'm like, well, it's been sitting on the market a little bit. It might be time that you can put in an offer below ask.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, because you're trying to be their fiduciary, so
Yeah,
you're not trying to be the
Yeah,
fiduciary.
I
to
have-
the- yeah.
yeah. I'm doing my best to represent the house in the neighborhood, but I'm also gonna be real.
I think that's a key point because you know most of the people are not going to buy that house. So you need to right away give them permission to say, let's talk bad about this house if you want to, or like, but I want to give you permission to say we'll go to another one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because everyone walks in, especially when they see us in open houses, I always say like they have that sales wall up. Like they're blocking, they're not going to give you any information. They don't want to give you anything because they think you're trying to get your hooks on something.
Yeah.
And so I just like my job in that first 30 seconds is just get that sales wall down. So at least they're having a real conversation with me.
That's great. That's good.
My lovely assistant. And here's one thing too. I explain to these agents when I'm going to host them or FISBO or anything like that, because I've had it a few times that I get an open house scheduled, and on Friday I get a call. I'm ready to go. Ran Facebook ads, and they're like, "No, we're not going to run it anymore. We don't want to host it. We have an offer." And I'm like, well, crap. So I tell people that I'm going to be spending money on Facebook ads. I'm going to be doing a lot of pre-marketing. And so my ask is that the show goes on no matter what. 10% of real estate deals are going to fall apart anyways. And so tell your seller or whoever you need to that we're still going to host that open. Fair? I haven't had a problem with that. Cool. All right. So your Facebook ads, I stole all this from Josh Smith, again, the ads aren't to drive people to your open house. Rarely are you going to find somebody like, I saw your ad on Facebook. This is just an easy way to get branding and to generate some cheap leads. Inexpensive, not cheap. But a couple of just like, and this isn't going to be a Facebook ad training, but I'll just say a couple of things when you are doing your ad that keep in mind. Picture before the link. If you just copy your Boomtown link, the ad doesn't look as good. The picture is what's going to sell it and what's going to get people's interest. So you have to, go copy the picture from the MLS, download it, and then upload it first. And so otherwise, it's like a link in the picture, and it just doesn't look as sexy online. Bitly link. And so I like to track. You guys familiar with Bitly? Anybody not familiar? All right. So Bitly is a web address shortener. And so instead of being readysetShow.denver.relevatehomes. Yada yada, and then all this code after, and this long ass blue link in your ad, Bitly will condense it for you and give you a short ad. So I'll just make it like if this was Gerard. See, here you go. You can see this is a Bitly link. I don't know if you guys can see that over there, but bit.ly.quitmanaway. The nice thing about this is then every time somebody clicks on the link, Bitly tracks that for me. So I can actually go see how many people actually clicked and are interested in this house compared to how many people actually registered in Boomtown. And always use your Boomtown link, right? Always use your Boomtown link. Make sure your characters or your name is in front of your Boomtown link, so your leads don't go to Matt, and he's always just like halfway through the weekend. And then door knock. So door knocking, I'm okay with it, but I usually only do it if it's in my neighborhood. I'm hosting one out in Highlands Ranch. I'm probably never going to be in that neighborhood again for a while, or at least for a while. So I'm not going to spend all my time trying to build my brand over there. But in my own neighborhood, I've had a lot of success with it, just because then you're meeting the neighbors and you're working harder than other agents that they would see.
The other thing I'll just mention with the Facebook ads is we're happy to leverage this for you and build this out for you and pay for this for you. So so if you guys secure an open house, the team's going to put $50 into a Facebook ad for you. So let's build that together, or we can build that for you.
Yeah, and when I am knocking too, I'm not. Maybe there's a lot of things I'm telling you how I do it, and there are probably things I could be doing better. But this is how I do it. When I'm door knocking too, it's just, hey, my name's Sean Murphy. I'm selling your neighbor's house down the street. I was coming by to drop off an invitation for our open house. I know a lot of times it's fun to check out your neighbor's house, see what they did, and so I just want to make sure you knew that it's this Saturday from 11 to 2. Cool? I'm like, yeah. I don't ask them if they're looking to sell their house, but I will say, do you know anyone that's looking to move in the neighborhood? Opportunity for you to pick your neighbor, or you have an interview, whatever, get them laughing, whatever, and then I give them this. That's it. I hope they come by and check out the house, and then that's really where you start to build that relationship with them. Signs, like as many as possible. This is where I'm gonna get people to my open house. It's not online. Sometimes you'll get it from the MLS, but your signs and directing people in. So for me, the more the better. Me and Gigi have these big flags too that we love, that we put in their front yard. So as soon as you turn down the street, there's no question, like, oh, it's right there. I also like, if you can see, are you guys able to see this PowerPoint big on your screens? Can you see these pictures?
Yeah.
I love this sign right here. That's a Sean Murphy original, because when you're driving and you have all those signs that are just the side directional one, well, then you have to go to the next stop sign, look right, and then that you see that you have to keep going. I love these because I'm always thinking 3 seconds. I want them to, from the time they're at this sign right here, I want no more than 3 seconds to go by before they get immediately, oh, okay, that's where I need to go, and just keep following my trail. So these signs that are just pointing straight ahead, those are awesome. Like I said, be strategic, new construction, other open houses. Don't be I can say dick here, right? Don't be a dick.
You do it
cover
every
up
month,
other
so.
agents' signs. So I'm not trying to be a jerk and override them and steal from their traffic. I've had some other agents put their signs in front and behind of mine to sandwich it in. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, as soon as you're pulling out that street, go this way for your next open house. Let's help each other out. And then too, in my mind, with the neighbors, with the buyers that are coming to my open house, I want the experience in mine to be far and above better than what they had at the last one, because that's where I'm building my brand and building why they should work with me better than everyone. And same thing with with neighbors. I love when neighbors come to the house, because I'd love to get their listing, and I'm interviewing right now. Like, they think that my signs are excessive, but in the end, that's what they'd want when their home's going to be sold.
Yeah.
And the big thing too is set up early. I love this. Like Josh Smith talked about this. I did it one time, and just this ease goes across your body when you're like not rushing to get out your signs, because it always takes a little bit longer. And you're setting up, and people are coming up the driveway. You look unprepared, and for me, it's just like a mental thing. Get over there. I drop my signs off early, and then I also peek my head in the house to see, does it smell funky? Like, do I need to wipe down? Has it been sitting for 3 months? The air is stale. I need to get a candle in here. Do I need to sweep up? So I glance at it real quick, because not my listing, but ultimately, like, this is my marketplace for the day, and I don't want it to look like shit. Yeah, so I'll go out 6, 7 in the morning on the weekends. Right now it's a little bit harder because the ground's frozen and I hate it. But go set your signs out super early. That way you beat all the traffic, especially when you're hitting the intersections. It's so much easier. And throughout the day, all your neighborhood people driving around, they're seeing your signs. All right. All right, guys, put on a little bit more for me. So now I set up my signs like hours early, and I don't obviously, especially if my homeowner is living there, I don't want people knocking on their door trying to come inside. So I got this little pedestal thing. This is actually, I took this picture this morning. This is at the open house I'm hosting this afternoon. And all it says is, it's this thing. Open house today. It says the time, and so that they can come back if they want to. And no one's feelings are hurt, but I'm getting all that additional branding on the streets.
So that's kind of the way you combat the signs are up 5 hours ahead of time, but people aren't trying to like knock on the door.
Yeah, just let them know. And as soon as my open house starts, so as soon as I'm coming back 30 minutes ahead of time, I flip it out and I put my sign in, per seller's request, sign in. It seems silly. You're a believer now, right? This sign like helps direct people. They see this when they come in. They walk in the house. You're there with your sign-in sheet, and you're handing them the flyer, and like they just fall into. They might give you yes information, but those people would anyways.
Do you put one, or what do you do?
I usually just do the one.
Oh.
You have one on your table too?
I have like the little sign up, and then on the front door, boom, there's another one. And then when they come in, there's a little sign that says sign in. And I don't even ask anybody. They just sign in.
Yeah. It's funny how if you just direct people, they just do what they're told. Because yeah, I've had a bunch, like when I first started running them, like I had a hard time just getting people to sign in, and my sign-in sheet is just it's just this. I know some people like the electronic one. I don't know. I like this. To me, it seems more like less gotcha. Like you're all like when I'm putting something into a computer, I'm like I'm going into a database right now. So that's why I do this way. And then my table. So I have, when you do get there, you're going to shoot 2 videos. You're going to shoot one video. I see a lot of us do that on the team. I think JP and you guys down south, you do this one where it's just like, hey, hosting the open house today. Here are the hours. Just great branding. Great way to do a live video. Great reason to do a live video. But I also, at that same time, I'm going to shoot my wrap-up video for the open house, and I'll explain what I do with this in a second. But I do it at the beginning because typically at the beginning of the open house, I'm looking my best, I'm feeling my best, I have the best energy. But sometimes by the end of your open house, you're like, fucking over this. I want to go home, and you're not going to do it. And so just knock it out beforehand. And then just whatever you need to do to get some push-ups, get yourself ready. If you need to read your open house script or whatever, just get yourself mentally ready, because like now you're a store owner and this is your shop and you want to be presentable when people come in. For my table, I have a lot of resources. So I have I just leave these out here. I might put all these resources that you see on here. Sometimes I've gone away from this bigger table because a lot of houses can't handle that. I have like a small, probably like 2x2 or 3x3 card table that I use now. But I'll just put these like in the kitchen or somewhere off so they don't feel weird about picking them up. but I'm just watching which ones that they're grabbing, because if they're preparing your home for market thing, that's probably a good indication that they're thinking about selling. Other things I have, people love this one. So I have a neighborhood map of Denver that I have out there if I'm hosting one in Denver. But people a lot of times don't know what the neighborhood boundaries are. And when I'm talking about, do you like Harvey Park? Do you like Athmar Park? They're not really sure where those areas are. So people love this one. And then I have my home buyer's guide and my home seller's guide. And again, I just leave these are just resources that they can take if they want them. If in conversation, I know that they are moving or selling, I was like, hey, this is the Bible right here. You need this. I give that to them. And just giving them value. Questions on any of this stuff?
As far as signs go, you put sign riders out with like times on like A-frames and stuff like that, or just a sign with the time at the door?
I could probably benefit from having some of those because like I'm typically like 3-hour time frames. So I'm typically 10 to 1, 11 to 2, or like 2 to 5 if I'm doing a later one. But I haven't just because I didn't really know what those time frames were. But now that it's pretty consistent, those 3, I could probably get those 3 at least. But like today it's like 2:30 to 5:30. So, but I can see value in those. Any other questions? If you did have a question, what would it be?
Are you gonna go to the wrap-up video and what that is?
What's that?
Are you gonna talk about the?
Yeah, I'll
wrap-up?
talk about the wrap-up video.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you put people in Boomtown under like I've been creating a Boomtown strip, like an open house strip
Mm-hmm.
for them? What do you do? Like, do you just put them under buyer or seller and just like generally drip on them, or what is your?
Generally drip on them. Yeah, so I do have a open house drip that I stole off Josh. I'll share with you guys that I put them in. But it's really just following up, just like a lot of like online leads that the most important thing is to figure out enough information of what they're looking for so you can set them up on a search. And then your next contact is just following up on, is that hitting the mark? Do you need anything to change? So not too much is different.
I don't know if you do. I'd send the text pretty much if they have real information, pretty much the second they walk out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Just making them.
Yep, that's my, let me just tell you about my wrap-up video. So my wrap-up video that I shoot at the beginning, it's just me in the kitchen, just this. It's, hey, this is Sean Murphy. I just want to shoot you a quick video. Thank you for coming to my open house over here in Harvey Park. I hate looking at myself, so I'm trying to distract them with the background. I know time is precious, especially on the weekend, so I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come check out this sweet house. This is my direct line, so if you have any questions or need anything, feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text. I'm happy and available to help. All right. Well, thanks again for stopping by, and have a great day. Boom. And so that's what I send to my list when everyone leaves, and that's what I shoot at the beginning.
So that's awesome. So you record that generic video in the beginning, and then just shoot that same video to everyone right after they leave.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Because then too, yeah, like especially if they've gone to 4 open houses, they don't remember the agent, they don't remember the house, so now you just kind of solidified yourself in their brain. You ever walk into a store and there's no music and you're like, this place is fucking weird. Like I think Ross and Walmart sometimes do it. So I always have some jams going. I have the best jams going all the time. I'll give you some playlist recommendations if you need them. But just some good beats or everything like that, just create that ambiance. Gigi's got a really good open house kit that she takes. So she always has broom, dustpan, candles, things like that. I think a candle is important too because some homes can stank. And maybe not even like a bad smell like pets or something like that. But like if a home's just been sitting and the windows have been closed for weeks, it just smells super stale. So get a candle in there too.
I have a list of all the stuff that I take in my little pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 'cause it has like a tape measure and
Yeah.
tray and
Tape measure is cool too.
yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
And like hardly anybody ever uses the tape measure, but you have it if they need it,
Or like
and you look like you're the
during the
shit.
winter, you need a shovel in your thing because if the house is vacant, they ain't going over there to shovel that shit. They're gonna fall and everybody wants to walk through the snow and they're not gonna take their fucking shoes off.
You're right. But yeah, again, this is your market center, and so like you need to take ownership of what that vibe is in the house and how it's feeling. And then when they come in, like we said, direct their experience. So you have a guest coming in. Garrett, would you be my lovely assistant? It's this. I always, so the reason I have the card table, I'm not in the kitchen, I'm not in the back room. I like my little card table because I want to be right by the door because I'm working and I want to be keeping an eye on the sidewalk so I know when somebody is coming up. And so don't stare at them when they're coming up the sidewalk because that's weird.
You're facing the little hole.
But as soon as they come in, it's like, hey, I know I say, hey, welcome to my party. And they're like, all right. Like, cool, that's fine. That's exactly what I wanted. Like, relax, it's fine. Hey, thanks for coming to my party. I'm Sean. Here's some information on the house. If I could get you just to sign in for me. If there's a big group, I say, if I could have one of you just sign in. Whoever's the leader usually takes ownership. Sweet. Yeah, so quick rundown, 5-bedroom, 4 baths. It's been on the market for three weeks now. So you know, I'm not the listing agent. I just work and live in this area, and so I just try to get out here and meet potential buyers and people like you. So if you have any questions on the neighborhood, anything like that, feel free to ask.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll let you have at it, and then as soon as they have at it, I feel like that wall, they're like, oh, thank goodness, you're just going to let me look at the house, and you're not going to follow me around, but I'm still starting to talk to them. Like, you guys, and so I go, my first question is usually, so are you a neighbor? Are you out shopping? Like, what are you guys looking to do? Cool, I'm a neighbor, and I go into that. Cool, how long have you lived here? What do you like about the neighborhood? This, that, and the other. And if they're like, no, we're out shopping, what do you like about Harvey Park? What do you like about this? And just go into the Ford analogy. Are you guys familiar with the Ford analogy? Gigi, what is it?
Family,
Family,
occupation,
recreation, divorce. No, dream.
Divorce. So, divorce?
Yeah. What's got you looking?
Are you divorced or thinking about it? And
I see
dogs.
the ring, but I see that frown too. What's going on?
Via Ford is
It's hypothetical, guys.
13.
Yeah, and so I'm not really talking about, at this point, I'm not talking about what do you want, I'm just talking to them, like, as a person. And then, as they're wrapping things up, like, so feedback, good or bad, what do you like, what do you not like? And then I go into my script. I'm like, hey, so, like I mentioned, this is not my listing. The purpose of me being here is not to necessarily sell you this house. If you love this house, awesome. I can talk to you about what a good offer would be, but I know more than likely this isn't the house for you. So I'd love to understand what you are looking for. And, I'm familiar with your market. I can tell you if there's anything else going on in the neighborhood that would fit your needs. Cool. And so now I've got that sales wall down enough that they'll just talk to me and they'll just tell me what they're looking for. Cool. I don't have it on me, but I also, I have it not on my table, but I have it behind the table with me. I have a list of all the other available homes in the neighborhood. So like, hey, I have all the other available homes in the neighborhood. Anything that has purple line on it is the open house time. If you want to go check out another open house, taking a tour, I'll just let them know that. I know I'm going to be the best agent that they saw that day, so I'm comfortable doing that. But then also let them know if there are any others on here that you do like, let me know. I'm out of here at 2 o'clock, and then we can go check it out right away. Cool? Try to get that immediate appointment. If you do have a lender, I've just recently started doing this more. I found a ton of value in it. If you have a lender in there, that's awesome because then you can handle more of the crowd, right? And I tell the lender, like, I'm point man, all right? I'm taking the guest. You help me with overflow if somebody else comes in. And you also watch my shit. If I walk away, like, because I've heard people coming in, stealing your computer, and I have a bunch of stuff there, my book bag and everything, so, and it's right by the door. So he's like there watching and being my float guy. But also, say they do find another home that they love. This happened last weekend. They found a house that they like, and they're like, oh, I wanted to see this one. Great, it's a go and show. Let's go check it out right now. It was smooth as hell. So you have that luxury if you have a lender partner there with you. Yeah, just knowing the other properties. I think that kind of just goes in with like knowing the area. You've seen the other properties that are available and you have an idea. Watch your gear. And this is a mistake I've made too many times, not taking good notes. You have such a great conversation with the person. There's no way I'm going to forget these guys. They're so cool. And then you get your sheet at the end, you're like, fucking no clue. No clue. And then you feel worse about calling them because you know you should know, but you don't. And so always like have a scratch pad or something else like that. You just like see their name and write down what they're looking for because you will forget, especially if you get busy.
That's good.
And yeah, the big thing I hear people like their open houses. I never have an open house that's a waste of time because I'm always getting shit done while I'm there. So it's your market center, not your living room. And so you're working, you're not sitting there just texting and Snapchatting and doing all that crap. Have things to do. So have things that you could do, but nothing that you have to get done. Or else you're going to be stressed out leaving there. If you have something that you have to like immediately after the open house, like go do showings and you didn't print your papers or do whatever, like, and you have a great open house, and now you're super stressed and you're carrying like a weird vibe into your showing. So take care of that. And yeah, think about your internet connectivity. So I threw down on one of these because I was tired of using my phone as a hotspot. It was like killing my phone and killing my battery. So I got one of these. I think it's like $10 more a month for Verizon, but it's just I don't even know what they call this. Some like internet booster LTE thing. But then I could run my computers, run my music, and it's not draining all my devices. So if you're gonna do open houses, get one of those. Questions on any of that? Like the during part?
Well, I love the thought on don't treat it like your living room. It's immediate. Like I've been in plenty of open houses where you walk in and they're like lounging on the living room, like on the sofa or something. You know, and even if they just get up from that position, it feels not professional. Like right from the get-go.
Oh, and the other thing too, like you mentioned that, like be standing when they walk in for some reason. Like you ever see an Asian, like you walk open the door, they're like, oh, like you feel almost weird walking into their house, like they weren't expecting you. So it's like be like ready, like yes, come on in, like welcome to my open house. It's all about vibes. Cool. And so wrapping it up, you close up, pick up your signs, make sure you set. So if like the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes is like nobody's there and I don't have anything else to do, great time to start entering your notes and just get all that stuff done while you're there, because when we go home, the dog wants to go out, the kids are screaming, and so like if you can just get that out of the way, you'll feel a lot better about it. Set up the searches if you can. Send that wrap up video right after. And then if somebody allows me to host their open house, I always give them an open house traffic report. So it's super easy. It takes me 5 minutes to send out because I just use this template here. I give them the date, the weather that we had, the number of guests, like guesstimate, hey, we had about 30 people here. Description of the group, so I'll give like demographics. Hey, it's mostly young couples, 25 to 35, and when we had a couple, adults that were looking for homes for their kids, first-time home buyers. And then I give guest feedback. So here's what the guests said. Here's what they liked about it. Here's what they didn't like about it. And then at the end, I give my feedback. Overall, good open house. Thanks for letting me host it open. Feel like you might be a little bit overpriced, but not by much, yada, yada. And they really appreciate when you send this out because nobody else is doing this for them. And that's it, yeah. And I think that's my last slide. Yeah, that's it. So like the wrap up is you've done all the work on the front end, like you're out of there, it's clean, and you can move on with your day, and you just enter these new people in your pipeline.
So this is kind of a loaded question, but how would you define a successful open house? Like I'm all done, do I feel good just because I held it open, or is there a marker for you that like it's successful? Or I mean, I know you're saying you get work done, so there's no really waste of time,
Yeah.
no matter what. But
Yeah.
what is your thought process on that? What's your mindset?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, if I have one person, and I'm like, I'm gonna continue the conversation with these guys. Like, I'm happy. But right now, it's like a weird time of year too. It's like my Friday open houses have been shit. And like ones that I thought were gonna be good weren't good. And so really, I just focus on like if I can get one good conversation, then I'm gonna continue. I'm fine with that because it's not wasted time, like you said, because I got all these other things done. I think that's what I think stings people is when they spend all this time setting up, nobody came and they didn't do anything and they just lost 4 or 5 hours of their day. Cool?
Well,
Questions, comments, feedback, takeaways. Give me something. Something that you're not doing right now that you could do to have a better open house.
Filming the video before.
yeah,
It's always after, I'm like.
She said filming the video before.
yeah. Sending a video in general. I've never sent a video like that after the open house, but that's such a good touch
Yeah.
to send that personally to each person that walks in. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and guys, I hate looking at myself. So, like, I get it, but the video, like, it's a different message. It's a
Dude,
different-
I was at a breakout film reunion and someone was really pushing on video. Like, we need to do video. He's like, I get it. You guys don't want to do video. You think you look bad in videos? Well, here's a newsflash. That's how you look in real life. Like, so just do a freaking video. Like, because that's how you all